we midlife? Are we in midlife?
You and I are definitely.
No, wait a second.
Yeah.
I don't like to think like that. So I feel like midlife is older now.
Nope. I think we just had the aging specialist on, and we're pretty sure Will and I are at midlife.
Well, certainly, if you
Sounds
go
like
by Alabama standards, we're way past midlife. I'm not kidding. Yeah, by average life
That's
expectancy.
true, but in our aging episode, I mean, we're getting closer to 100, which puts us not quite midway there.
Okay. I like what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with it. I still feel very young. Outside of like my ankles, I feel young. Like if I sprain an ankle, it's going to hurt for a long time. I believe we talked about this. But yeah, outside of that, like I feel young.
When I got that bruise from Botox, it held on for a while.
That was rough.
Okay.
I'm glad you came up with that story.
This feels vulnerable, but I'll tell you,
I just said I got a black eye from Botox.
yeah, but that was impermanent. The skin on my knees have changed. I'm sure yours have. And I was in a downward
all
dog.
of my skin has changed.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like I remember seeing old lady knees, and I'm like, well, that probably won't happen to me, but
100% not until it does.
it did. There's just nothing I can do. You cannot age backwards, as we learned. So we're going to all keep eating well and letting stress roll off of us and moving.
That's right. Move your body, eat for what feels right.
So our episode today is around middle age and the ever popular crises of a midlife crisis, and if it's real.
I actually had a 20-something-year-old girl walk up to me in the coffee shop today, and she was like, "Are you Laura? Like, I came to your workshop. Remember last year when we did that workshop?" And I was like, "Oh, so good to see you." And I was like, I was like, "I'm actually going to record the podcast today." And she was like, "Great. What's this one on?" And I was like, "Oh, it's midlife crisis." I was like, "But you're far away." She was super young. And she was like, "I'm in kind of a quarter life crisis right now." And I was like, there have been songs written about that. They are real too. I feel like crisis can happen not just in midlife, right?
I actually don't see midlife crisis almost ever in my practice. I actually think it might be made up, but we'll get to that.
I was about to say, is it a real thing, or like what is it? If I generally think of it just being like insecure guys.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
The quintessential got a new car, did something
Bought
weird,
a boat,
started working out like really hardcore, maybe throwing some like steroids in there,
trying to act young,
dating someone like age, not that age matters, but maybe someone polarizingly younger.
Yes. Poor women.
Yeah. By the way, mark this down for an episode. We have to do that episode of why sometimes that, like the older guys dating younger girls, you don't see a lot of the opposite of that.
Unless you're my child. And then he does date women who are
not like
substantially older.
Like 40?
No, when he was 19, he was dating a 27-year-old. Uncomfortable. Gross.
That's different. I'm talking about like a 22-year-old dating a 55-year-old or something.
Woman?
Yeah.
Dating a 55 or like a 50-year-old woman dating a 22-year-old
guy. Right.
That's not.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. But
it does happen, but it feels very uncomfortable.
But you will see that happen
the opposite
way. That's
okay.
Not,
I can tell. We don't have to do a whole episode. I can tell you my theory right this very minute. Why did you eye roll me?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I promise it was not you. I was thinking
about a particular human.
Yeah, just about like that situation. I promise it wasn't about you. It's just about how.
Wow. You know she gets easily
very sensitive.
Yeah, sorry.
Very
I don't
sensitive.
even know, but it had nothing to do with you.
She's actually crying on
it had nothing to do with Yeah. Sorry. Start it over.
I could cue up the full water if I had to. Okay.
That was me in my head thinking about the situation. It had nothing to do with you or what you were saying.
We'll get to your situation. This is what my thought is, and y'all can argue with me. The brain develops later for men, so it makes more sense to me that a younger woman would seek out an older man that is not only more emotionally developed, but maybe more stable financially, like more secure, where I would never go backwards. Sorry, Hunter. And
no offense to Hunter, who's filming for us.
A young 20-something-year-old, because there's a lot of raising to go through that women, I think, progress faster in that.
I would agree with that.
But you're the man. Would you like to fight back?
No, I think that's a great explanation of that from a non-sexual standpoint. I
Okay,
think there's
I'll add
more,
a sexual standpoint to it.
Okay.
So I think that men somehow can age into like this like hot maturity, like gray hair, like sometimes looks really sexy.
Even the ruggedness of a weathered face, that is, I think there's some sex appeal to that
I
for
agree.
a woman of just, I mean, I see it. Okay, here's a warm-up question. What's the largest age gap you've ever had with someone you've dated? Down or up? How many years?
Hang on, I gotta do the math.
Mine's easy, 13 years.
Oh, mine's like 5 or 6 older than me.
Yeah, 13 years older.
No, 10. Full 10.
10.
10.
Older?
10 down? Wow. Older.
So you've disproven my theory. So go ahead.
Okay. But he is. Oh, look at how red he is.
Okay.
Oh.
Is Danielle secretly 10 years older than you?
She is.
She
Isn't that amazing?
looks
Pushing
incredible.
50. You look great, Danielle.
Danielle, you are a rock star.
Well, I'm hoping she's gone to another further away room at this point.
Okay, yeah, I had a 10-year age gap.
Okay. And mine was 13. 13 up.
13 up. Everybody was up. You're up.
Yeah, it ended poorly, obviously,
Ended poorly.
Yeah.
It was the third accidental marriage.
and divorce.
Well, obviously, if it was an accidental marriage, divorce. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't. I mean, yeah. It's not Danielle. So.
You were being spicy with me today.
I'm sorry. I swear to God, I'm not.
Okay, I guess I'm a safe place for you, and you're taking out whatever you
Wow.
need to take out on me,
Wow.
which is fine.
We're fucking with you. We're trying to distract you.
I know. I'm trying to stay on court. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question. Is midlife crisis just and like, forget about when this happens, if it really happens, crises in life in general, are they typically like buy the weird car, do the crazy thing? Like, from a therapeutic standpoint, you said, I see this.
So you don't
No,
see
I
it.
don't.
Oh, no, not midlife. You just said I do see crises, right?
Oh, God, yeah. Every day I see a crisis. But the definition of midlife, I would say the closest thing to that is when a mother sends her last child to school, particularly if she was a stay-at-home mother. There's a huge loss of purpose, and that's very specific. I've had many women come to me, and we go back and like define purpose and what that really means, and it comes back to like, where is their value held? But they aren't buying a Corvette. It's more, it looks like grief.
And so I think, because we grow up kind of thinking what a midlife crisis is, and we do think mostly of men. Right.
Insecurity in men.
Yes,
That's what I think.
leaving their aging wife for some hot chick with no brains and buying something outlandish is what I think.
Yes. Or like, and then starting to date a substantially younger, newer version of maybe what they had before.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, so this is a great time to say that if you have not watched 4 seasons, this kind of like walks this road with like a friend group who's been together for a really long time and been through a bunch of seasons together. And then one person like bails on his, I won't ruin it, but I just kind of did. It's in the promo. Okay, so it's funny because I asked to kind of say the same thing that you said, like the midlife. Like, I don't necessarily know if that's true. I do think in my own journey as a human, and I asked Shane if I could talk about kind of like what he said he experienced. He woke up on his 36th birthday, and I had not met him yet, didn't know he existed. And he had a friend text him who's still really good friends with Robin, and she was like, "Welp, you're officially in your late 30s. Like, your life is over now, you know?" And she was totally just being funny. And he said he like legitimately went into a spiral. Like, he was like, oh my God, I've like done the big things he wanted to do. And he was like, but like, I'm not happy. I'm not like, none of this stuff like gave me what I thought it would. Like I thought if I like accomplished the things in my career and had a family and like did this big shit that eventually I would be like, yes, I have all this whatever. But he woke up and was like, oh my God. Ugh.
Well, you mentioned this earlier to me, and it was weird because I just read it. It's the bottom of the U-shaped curve of life. That was so crazy that you brought it up today because I read about it yesterday, and I was about to say I'm embarrassed to say I really don't care. I had never even heard that term, so if that's new to you, it's the theory that we're happiest in our 20s, basically. The bottom of the curve is like raising our kids, so that like 18-year, to 20-something year period, and then we're happy again when we're 60. And that is so sad to me.
Yeah, it's wrong though, right?
I agree. I think it's wrong.
Well, grateful people are happy people. Grateful people are happy, so whatever you focus on is going to multiply. Obviously, we talk about that. I talk about that a ton. And back to Shane's thing, I will say, like, he had that, and he burned on his life. I mean, he would tell you, like, he divorced his wife.
He felt the bottom of the U-shaped curve.
He really felt it, and, he did the things, bought the cars, did the thing, and he was like, yep, still not happy. I mean, he didn't go, like, full red Corvette or any weird thing like that, but he did, meet a girl on the interstate and end up marrying her. But like I'm not substantially younger than Shane. We're like 4 years apart, which I feel like is very reasonable. But for me, I do resonate with the child thing, and have always been like a working mom. But when Clay was graduating from high school, holy shit, this has been such a huge part of my identity. I really struggled being like, oh my God, two things. The big thing was, is he going to be okay? Like, is he actually going to be ready for this? And the second thing was, what the hell am I going to do? Like, am I going to be okay? And it felt like a spiral for sure.
So I think why you said it's not true is the part I can see that feels accurate. Let me start with that is when you're at the bottom, like when you're in the midst of parenting or getting secure financially or really knowing who you are, I do think that's hard. But I've said it before in here, hard doesn't equal bad unless you choose for hard to equal bad. Like having two babies at the same time in diapers wasn't my like favorite thing that I've ever done in my life.
Right.
But I loved it, and I was a generally very happy person. So to me, I'm wondering if these measures of happiness, whoever's doing them, is if things are, quote, like easier because you're not wiping bottoms and you're not like, how are we going to pay the mortgage? You're more stabilized with less on your plate. But it makes me sad that people are looking at this hard part as bad because it's so precious. Like you cried after you saw a newborn today.
I literally wept on the way here. Like, I'm so thankful I had a little time buffer. I have one of the young women who work for me, she's just had a baby, but it's like a full circle thing because Sarah Margaret has been with me since when she was an intern for me, when she was in college. I gave her, we threw her a 22nd birthday party, Taylor Swift theme, where a life-size Taylor Swift had a job offer in her hand, taped to her hand. And now I watched her get married, and I just held her baby.
And then we were like, you're at the bottom of the curve. Good luck, honey.
No, I absolutely was like, you're going to be the best mom, and I just love it so much. And then I called Jane, and I was like, I am weeping in my car and can't pull my shit together. Like, what is going on? And he's like, you just love that baby so much. But I do think, and back to what you said, I think for me, even though Clay graduating was really hard and did feel like a little bit of a spin out for sure, and I was struggling. I was like, oh my God, he's not ready. He's a psychopath. He's not prepared. Did I teach him how to buy groceries? Probably not. But the thing that really, when I look back and I think about crises, they were definitely not midlife. I'm talking in my 20s, I had the most spin outs, and that was based on trauma, the manifestation of trauma, and how it showed up in my life, and me trying to find the thing to quiet the noise.
Yeah.
100 radio stations playing at the same time. This is how my therapist, Andy, in Nashville, every time me and Shane have a session, he's like, all right, parachuting in. Shane, when you are anxious, you tend to turn the volume down. You're looking for things to turn the volume down. Maybe you'll have a drink. Maybe you'll pile on something new at work. But Laura, you turn the volume up. You turn the volume up. And I'm literally like, why are you laughing? And I'm like,
I'm just thinking about myself in that situation. I couldn't go through that without giggling.
You would laugh the whole time. Honestly, Shane and I cannot make eye contact when he's doing it. God, Andy, if you listen to this, I'm so sorry. But he's a great therapist. No time is wasted. We go straight in. But he talks about I turn the volume up. And that is what happens. The volume is so loud for me. All the radio stations are playing at the same time, and I have to do something. I used to have to do something to turn them off. So what I did was get married, obviously. And then
over and over
again. And each time it felt like I would learn that is not the way, but I did not learn until the last accidental marriage to the nice alcoholic man.
Well, I have an idea about how to reframe this for everyone, because some of what we've talked about is you can break through and further develop yourself. Like, look at Shane now. After he burned it down, like, he really shifted his life, okay? So might have had a breakdown to break through. But I have a really solid list of, if y'all think it is crisis, what do we want to call it? Let's just say crisis or not. And I'm dying because I'm like, oh shit, I've like done a lot of these. So,
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. This is a person. Let's say the people I'm talking about are between 35 and 45. They're not 20. Okay. They got a tattoo of a mountain range.
I don't know. I don't think that's
like
a crisis.
Where's the tattoo? How big is the tattoo?
Let's say
It's
like
on their arm.
a little wrist tattoo.
I don't know.
I don't think that's a crisis.
I don't think it is either.
Okay, well, my mom just got a tattoo and it really bothered me, so I'm gonna say crisis.
Okay, that's not fair.
I was like, there has to be context.
Poor
to
Steph.
this.
She
Started running ultra marathons.
You are her. You are her. Are you in a crisis?
That's what I'm like, and what am I running from?
Wait, though. You're like more on a 2-year, 3-year health journey.
True. Thank you.
See,
breakthrough.
It does not feel like a
hotter at 38
I told
than 28.
y'all, if I would have showed up today and said, I'm running an ultra, y'all would be like, you okay?
Agreed.
Yes.
I also
I know.
wouldn't be surprised.
You are impulsive and fun.
Yeah.
That's true. God, I am fun. Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay, this is, let's say, this is for a man, started wearing leather pants regularly.
Yeah, that's a
All
crisis.
right, that's a crisis. That's a problem.
Adopted a rescue parrot named Carl.
That's you.
I hate that so many are possibly me.
Okay, that is you. Do you feel like I do worry about the amount of animals that you would collect if you didn't feel like you would be reported in Homewood.
But that's just her personality. That's not a crisis.
Yeah, that was from birth, collecting things. Okay.
Okay.
I've just been in crisis.
All right, so bought a parrot
God,
named
these
Carl.
are starting to stress me out. I didn't read through the whole list because I'm like, I just didn't start. It's like cold plunge. Literally did it last week. So we're gonna skip.
Wait. Actually, that was actually like a great moment. You called me. Remember? You called me.
Yeah. I have her location for some security issues for me, like mental health, not physical safety. I just like to know where she is at all times. And
one time I left the country and she really freaked out, and I was like, "You can have my location."
And it's never happened again.
That's
like
right.
You can't leave and not tell me. So, anyways, I went and did contrast therapy where you do a sauna for 20 minutes and then a cold plunge for 4. And she texted me something funny, and I looked at her location, as one would after getting a text.
Where are you?
And she was on like 3rd Avenue, and I was on 2nd Avenue. I was like, I'm leaving contrast therapy. And she's like, well, I left the art museum, and I'm going to eat dinner at Helen. And I was like, well.
We are different.
Yeah, speaking of contrast, yeah.
I was in a one-piece suit soaking wet on 2nd Avenue.
A real Speedo, though.
Okay, took up fencing just to try something new.
See,
I think that's a no. Because I think that's just an adventurous, want to try new things. Like, that's a will thing.
See, I was about to say that I feel like not the leather pants, but most of the things, and not the sports car, but most of the things that would fall under the guy like midlife crisis are just things that I've done since I was 10
Yeah.
or whatever.
You just like new things.
The skydiving, all the motorcycle, all the
Yeah.
stuff. It's like that's just been consistent. There's never been like now I'm gonna now I do like want to learn new things.
Yeah.
But there's nothing all like the outlandish things that I do have just been consistent.
How about replaced all furniture with floor cushions?
That feels like a crisis.
Yeah.
That feels
that's
like a intervention
agree.
level crisis.
Grew a beard and started journaling.
It feels like a awakening. I like it.
Okay, this is the meanest list. It's like did yoga teacher training. Check.
Oh my
like,
God.
I
It's
have
funny. Is it you didn't write these?
no.
Oh.
I found a list.
So, listener, I'm sure you're picking up, but like half of these are things that Claire has recently done.
Or currently is doing.
If they had sourdough on here, I'd
probably
be
do.
fucked. It's
They
not on my
probably do.
list.
God, I hope. I mean, let's add it.
I gotta
Sounds
take
good.
a look at some things.
Taking a break.
Okay, so
Okay.
y'all are pretty loose with these, though. Y'all are like, oh, breakthrough. You're just really growing.
I feel like there is a fine line, though, right? Like if between a crisis and a growth mindset, because a growth mindset would be like, I love learning new things, and I'm gonna, I feel a little stagnant, so I'm gonna try something new. I think the difference to me as an outsider is a crisis means you're hurting someone or some group of people that you do life with because of the drastic changes you're making.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's okay.
Because when you think about buying a car, like who cares? Buy a car. That's great. If you think about buying a car but your family suffers because you made this extravagant purchase, that's a totally different thing. If you think about like, I'm just not happy, so I'm bailing on my marriage of 20 years and my children are, in flux and this is really hurting them, that feels more like a crisis. And again, pulling the ripcord just because you're not happy and not doing any work around it, that's different than like we tried all the things and we couldn't make it work and we're just parting ways. So for me, when I think of a crisis, I think of like, are you burning some shit down that's going to hurt other people?
Okay, I like that.
So,
So
because like all your hobbies
very
that are
gentle.
on the checklist are really kind and wonderful, and they make people better, and they are good conversation starters.
It's all you stuff that even if you haven't done these things before, like now running and whatever, it's still you. It still fits you.
Actually,
Guys, thank you.
Claire's ran since I've known her.
just not like this.
Not
But
and
guys,
not well.
I'm glad we got together
So
today.
you're a faller? What do you mean not
No,
well?
like just like she's more of a soft J jog. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yogging.
That's fine. Yeah.
More of a yog back in
Oh,
the day.
yeah.
Yeah, I
More
think-
like me.
and
I
that-
could have kept up with you back then.
Not like the in-depth explanation you just gave, but I when I think of the crisis, I think of like someone trying to be something that they are not at all,
I can
and
see
it's
that.
Well
awkward,
said.
and it's
Yes.
awkward. Like
Yeah.
they're awkwardly trying to do things to make themselves different from what they actually are.
Like one time I Googled how to become a pharmaceutical rep, and that's a little crisisy.
Is this like when I started smoking in my 20s?
Yes.
And people were like, what's happening? Okay, because here's what I'm going to say this to that, because that feels, I hated that when you said it, because I was like, ugh. Because this is why when I lived in Savannah, I had this group of friends that really loved fun, crazy, could get married this weekend Laura. They like loved her. And when I was trying to get better and heal some things that were like coming up for me, I like literally had to move because they just did not want to see a different version of me. It was like, and I'm not blaming them. Like, obviously that's whatever, but I could not grow and heal because of that there. I had to like legitimately, I moved to Alabama partially because of that. And
You're like Fun Bobby
yeah.
from Friends, right?
Yes.
Yes, I was. And, she would pick up
Nobody
smoking.
wanted her to let go of Fun Bobby.
I get it. I mean, Fun Laura was fun. I mean, this is the girl who would, like, my brother would have to go, like, approve charges because I would sign my
So you
bills
wouldn't
Lady
consider
Gaga.
the move, and I'm saying this in a positive way, that wasn't a burn it all down. That was a breakthrough, even though you had to wipe it all clean.
I mean, I literally had to stop talking to everyone I knew for a period of time and now I have some really great relationships that I've been able to rekindle. I even remember like one of my closest friends and longest standing friendships, and we're still very good friends. She lives in North Carolina. Her name is Megan. If you're listening, I love you. I remember her saying to me, even after I moved to Alabama and started my company, and she came to an event and whatever, and I started dating, and after my third accidental marriage, and it's dying. Divorce. I hate saying it, but it's true. She said, listen, it's okay that you're not supposed to be married. It's okay that you're just not the type of person that's going to be a wife. And it killed me to hear her say that, because like all I wanted to be was a healthy, good wife. Eventually I wanted to be a good partner to somebody. And I remember when she said that, I was like, shit, she doesn't believe I can change. She doesn't believe I can like fix this part. Whatever's broken in me, she just doesn't think it's fixable. I'm just not supposed to be that. And I was like, fuck. And I took a little break not from her, but from this idea of like, well, I'm either going to listen to that and believe it's true about myself, or I'm going to go figure out what's going on. And why do I keep repeating this cycle? And is it fixable, or is this who I am? So, leave some space for your friends and be like, I'm trying to fucking get better, Will.
Wait, what? Why was that at me? What?
I don't know. Kind of felt good to get it out.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At me, though?
Will?
No, because you said, I believe when people are just like doing stuff that feels like
I
not
just said
them.
that's what I think of when I think
Totally.
of... Yeah, midlife crisis.
It resonated with me.
I was
though,
saying
and
you gave a much better definition, because all I think of is people trying to be different than... Yeah.
Okay, so if you're listening, well, obviously you're listening. If you hear the sound of my voice.
Can you hear us? Hello.
So learning what breakthrough and growth for you versus crisis, and what goes along with who you are to your core, kind of what Will was saying. It's already part of you, and you're just developing more of it instead of this like black and white, except when you have to leave the state. And then I have a question. If nothing changed in your lives in the next 10 years, would you be upset about something?
No? I don't think... I mean... like little tweaks here and there, but nothing substantial.
If nothing changed in my life, I don't believe that's possible.
That's not...
But
you wrote this question, Laura.
God, I hate when I write questions that I hate. All right, shit. I don't know. I'm thankful for my life. So if nothing changed, I believe I would still find a way to be grateful. Because it's not like it's monotonous. My life is different every freaking day.
I mean, honestly, my puppy a year ago, like when I got Glenda, she ate the whole couch. Like,
I remember.
I have to have a different couch. Like, other than that.
Oh, yeah, I want bigger couches.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, like, I like where I'm going.
Yeah.
But that couch has to be thrown away.
We got to get rid of it. It's time.
So your answer is no, because I've got stuff like that. I got
I
all
know.
kinds of little fun stuff like that.
I was going to say, too, like, yeah, I got some improvements that I'm in the midst of, and some things that it would, I guess, no, I wouldn't be happy. Like, my book deal will be announced by the time this comes out. So, like, it's going to be.
By the time this comes out.
By the time this
nice.
podcast comes out.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Officially, my book comes out September 2026, and I signed with Hachette. Yeah. So, but like
my mouth's hanging open. I'm not talking.
But I think that it would be heartbreaking, obviously, if nothing changed in regards to like getting things over the finish line that maybe are in flux now. So I hope that the things that I have open right now are closed, and like I have a new other things. So in that way, bigger couches.
Yeah, and I don't.
Books are finished.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of like in that question of like, oh, just normal progress with things.
Right,
but I was thinking more of like, there's something negative that needs to change, kind of, which I don't. Yeah.
I agree with that. So you got to get a new couch, though.
Yeah.
Right.
The rest is going to be between me and my therapist. So
I just want one of those bigger, like Cindy Crawford couches.
Oh, Crawford Homes. Hey, she's got some good stuff.
I know.
I wonder
That's
if it's quality.
it is.
It is.
yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. It
Real
ain't cheap.
nice.
Real nice.
Real
Good
nice.
for her. Way to, that's called a breakthrough. Are we missing anything on midlife crises?
If you could have a midlife crisis right now, what would you do? Like if you could really just go for it, just do some crazy shit, blow something up, you would get a goat farm.
I would get the farm.
I knew you would. I knew you were going to say that.
I would
You
leave the
psycho.
therapy business behind. I'd have a variety of goats.
She would be at the farmer's market in Pepper's Place this weekend selling goat soap or whatever
oh my
you
God,
sell.
I would love it.
I know you would. You're a creep. All right, what about you? If you could blow some shit up.
I would take it alone and like finish all my flight school stuff and become like a flight instructor and pilot. Like still do what I do, but
Yeah.
then also be a pilot on the side.
Ah. What about you? If you could have a quarter life crisis, what would it be, Hunter?
Just ask someone without a microphone.
Yeah, but I want to know. Wait, get on the mic.
Hey everyone, I'm Hunter. I don't know. I want more tattoos, so I'd probably do that, and then I would quit everything that I'm doing and buy like a legit film camera and just film as much stuff as I can.
Just go for it.
Just go for it, really.
Okay.
Move to Hollywood.
Damn.
Yeah.
Move to Hollywood.
Gosh,
I
you
think you
have
might
so
change
much
your
time.
mind if you get out there, though. It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah, I'm
fucked.
sure.
It's his crisis.
All right, yeah, no, you can do
Yeah,
whatever you want.
definitely think though, fish in the small pond. You go out there and there are
Yeah.
18 million of people
Doing
trying
everything
to do that.
you're
Yeah.
doing, which would make you better, but also make you very hungry, probably.
If y'all were, how old are you, 25?
22.
22. If y'all were 22 and said that and old people were like, well, if you get out there, you might change your mind, what would you have thought?
Oh
I'd
no,
be
no,
like,
no!
all the
I
way
think Hunter can do it. My advice would be do it in Birmingham
Agreed.
and
Oh.
not go to LA where there are 1,800
Yeah, I love
people.
everything
where
you
you're
said.
planted.
I
Yeah,
love
I think-
everything you're saying because you don't have a ton of competitors here. Doing what you're doing and honing your craft, you're like on track. All right, if I could
And you
have a
can
midlife-
take that to the bank, Hunter.
All right, if I could have a midlife or a crisis right now, I would chop my hair off.
You look so good.
Yeah, I like short hair.
With a bob? Are you kidding?
Yes,
Big
like
fan.
a little, just like
I mean, all you'd have to do is get Elizabeth put in if you didn't like it.
that's true.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot.
Do
to
it.
lose.
Do it, big fan.
All right, well, I'm thinking about it. Oh my God, what if
Remember
next
Will-
episode
Will was the one that made me feel better when I cut all my hair off.
You
he was
look
like, I
so
like
cute. You
short
made
hair.
us think that you had some like crazy stuff done. We showed up and we're like, that looks great.
That was the weirdest thing ever. You're like, disaster, total disaster. And
And we
look at
get
just
there.
like, wait a minute. What? Your hair looks really great. What's going on?
Felt bad to me. Anyways, you should do it. We'll really support you here.
All right, fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Call
wait,
a therapist instead of a crisis.
Yes, call a therapist if you're in the middle of a crisis.